Hey, this is Notzer, and this is the Tier 9 U.S. cruiser Baltimore. It has 9 main guns on 3 turrets, 12 secondary, 83 AA guns, and has a top speed of 33 knots. We're on the map Fault Line, and this is the new Conquest mode. The Conquest mode is familiar. You've got your base, the enemy base, and you can see there's a constant tick rate. The tick rate is to allow for a team to win at the end of the game. The only way you can stop the tick rate is to sit in the enemy's camp or capture the enemy's base, and when you fully capture the enemy's base, your team wins. Nothing else influences the tick rate. Killing enemy ships, ships that you might lose, nothing changes the tick rate other than influencing the bases. So, obviously I spawned it on the east side, and I decided I'm going to go up the east line, 9 and 10 line. If I encounter an enemy, I will use the area to avoid the enemy and return fire. It looks like I have assistance from a friendly destroyer and a friendly cruiser, so I feel pretty confident about fighting an enemy on equal terms. So an enemy cruiser, the Mogami, shows up. First victim of the day, fire on him with HE. I want to set him on fire. He's going to clear off the fire, and apparently I did damage to one of his turrets. That's cool. But he's going to damage control the fire, and he's shooting AP for some reason. I was a harsh angle, so it was obviously going to ricochet. And we set our first fire, and he puts it out with damage control. Now we want to set him on fire again. And conveniently, the next salvo takes him and puts him on fire. So then I decide that I'm going to switch to AP after I unload the last bit of my rounds. I missed with my next shots, unfortunately, but I'm really looking for him to be broadside when I return fire with AP. And at this point, I had an inkling that he put out torpedoes, and sure enough, here comes the torpedoes. As a Japanese cruiser player, and my AP did nothing, as a Japanese cruiser player, I am familiar with the trends that other Japanese cruiser players will do, the angles of their ship, what they communicate by doing that. So it's pretty hard to ambush me with torpedoes. This isn't my first rodeo, but it looks like he doesn't have any interest in staying in the area. He's outgunned by 3 to 1. And he's retreating. And he'll burn down for probably another 45 seconds to a minute. And here come the other broadside of his torpedoes. I'm nowhere near them. They're not going to influence me at all. I was actually looking to the center just to see if there was a ship in range. Friendly is dodging the torpedoes, thankfully, and I will be far away from them. But to me, you can't be this far forward. When you go this far forward, you're taking fire from more than one ship. My idea was to be able to fire on the ship and avoid fire from any of his allies. I was going to use this area to line of sight from other enemy ships, and I was going to try and take out the Mogami. And I thought for a second to go after the destroyer, but then I realized that's a really hard shot because they're very elusive. So I went back to the Mogami. He's doing a lot of fire on my friendly Pensacola. Unfortunately, my Pensacola is just out in the open. He has no form of cover that he can use, and he's probably going to die. I see that there's an enemy Pensacola that moved into the area, and I'm going to fire on him. He's almost dead. I don't know what the hell hit him, but I'm not going to complain. My Mogami enemy has moved out of range of my guns. That's the primary reason why I'm firing on this guy. And I notice that there's an enemy cruiser that's in range of my guns, but he's out of line of sight. He takes a shot from someone, probably that Pensacola, and I fire on his last known position, see if I can land the shot. Probably unsuccessful though. And it looks like the allies at our base killed an enemy that was attacking. Looks like there's an enemy destroyer that's over by A. You notice he's stopping the tick rate for my team. This is how you win this game. You control your base. Man, we land a nice salvo on this guy at range. Unfortunately, our Pensacola didn't expect the torpedo attack, which the Mogami used the island to screen, and he took the very tip of that one torpedo salvo. So our friendly's dead. We're moving forward, trying to get in range of the Mogami. I'm going to use the island to screen my movements. And the general plan is to get the Mogami at a range of 10 kilometers. You know, an easy shot. Take him down, and then move on. This Farragut can see me, though, and it's a big issue, so I'm going to try and take him out. But yeah, the tick rate will continue to go, and as long as there's an enemy in the base, you are losing the tick rate battle, and you need to be able to defend it. If the enemy fully captures that point, game's over. It's done. So the enemy carrier is sending the dive bombers towards me. I use defensive fire. You can just see how many AA guns this platform has. It's making it inaccurate, but unfortunately, with the inaccuracy, he's still able to land his bomb on me, and I have to use damage control. And we're landing shots on this Farragut. He's landing some shots, but he's not doing much. Maybe he's using AP? I'm not 100% on that. Shots should be doing damage. We're able to land a really big shot and take him out. And unfortunately, I was too preoccupied, so I'm going to kind of run into this island. And this will be useful to me. At the time, I felt like the Mogami was right at E9 or C9, right on the other side of the island, ready to use his torpedoes. I'm obviously spotted, because you can see that enemy battleship is headed my way, and I have no interest in him. So I wanted to get out of the way and get around the island. Limit my enemies, and defeat anyone that's weak. You know, that's the general idea of any good captain. You never want to give the enemy advantages. We have 2 ships up on them, but they have a ship on our cap. And I'm like warning the team, you know, watch out for this guy, we need to take him out. Just in case, you know. They clearly are aware, just someone killed him off, and that's great. But I feel like at this point, as I'm gaining speed, the Mogami is right on the other side of the island. He's getting ready to torpedo me. So, because I would do the exact same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on this path, and I'm going to over-rotate. I'm going to continue the turn, because I know the torpedoes are going to show up any second now. And there they are. So predictable. He sends out both salvos. They go through, but obviously I was fully prepared, and I just turn and get out of the way. And I see a friendly destroyer spotting the Mogami, and I see how low he is, and I'm trying to get angles on him so I can fire on him. But I'm sacrificing my cover to this enemy battleship in order to do this. But, you know, sometimes you need to be aggressive. I can take a salvo, and I see a good opportunity, and he just softens his turn a little bit. I only land 1 of the 3 rounds, and now he's in a position where he can just move based on my shots. And that dispersion's just not helping. Goes to the right of a ship, and I try and fire when he commits to an angle. I only land 1. I need to aim a little higher. Fortunately, my defensive fire came up just as those bombers came in, so I was able to turn it on. 1 of the bombers lands, but I'm able to use damage control. And I'm getting this guy real low. I think I knocked out 1 of his guns earlier with an earlier salvo. Did crit damage to it. I take a big shot from that Izumo. I have no interest in you, buddy. I'm trying to get out of there. So I notice I'm going to collide with the island. I'm trying to avoid it. I don't want to get stuck. If I get stuck here, it's an easy shot. I soften the turn so the back end won't stick in. I think I stuck in just barely. And I was able to break free. Just like that, you saw the speed dip just a little bit. And he's firing on my position, and it's probably going to miss. The Izumo is an interesting ship. All of the turrets are in the front half of the ship. So whenever you see an Azumu facing you, you need to understand he is at full strength on his damage per minute. If he's moving away, it's highly likely that one, maybe two turrets can't get target on you. So keep that in mind whenever you're going up against the enemy. Learn their weaknesses and exploit them. So we gave up a chance to Mogami. We had to avoid taking fire from the Azumu. You know, live to fight another day, sort of thing. But I'm going to try and move into the area and use the islands to screen. This enemy Azumu is interested in fighting someone on his starboard side. So I'm going to return fire. I'm going to fire on him. He's not firing on me. I'm just going to be that pest. Do a little damage, maybe set on fire. You're not going to be a master of Meepo. And he's turning. Why is he turning? He's trying to dodge those torpedoes. And they end just as they get to him. Probably an American destroyer sent those out. And this jerk is still turning. And his turrets are still turning. And you know what? It looks like he's turning them towards me. So I'm like, oh man. Get over the island. Get over the island. Oh, I take a big shot. I can't take another shot like that. My damage repair is about to come up. And I'm going to use it at tier 9 and 10. Cruisers for both Japanese and American. Get it? It's pretty cool. It gives you roughly 15,000 to 20,000 depending on the type of damage you take, extra health. So we lost our back half turret. And I fire with the island in the way. I want to keep the island in between me and the enemy, but if this carrier is just going to sit here, I will gladly fire on him. So you notice I come to a complete stop. I want to keep that Azumu, which just got killed, from being in line of sight of me. I want to keep the other enemy ships from being in line of sight of me. That Mogami I was harassing just got taken out. There's only 2 enemy ships left, and this carrier is refusing to move. So I'm just going to keep shooting this guy, landing big shots. We're able to crit his propeller, so he can't move at full speed anyway unless he uses damage control. His engines just came on. You can see the smokestacks. That's another tell you can use at long range. And he hit a Citadel shot just before these friendly torpedoes come in, and this guy just goes from 80% health to something like under 30. And I compensate for him moving because you can see the engines on. You know that he wants to move. Looks like he did use damage control when I set him on fire. So he had to take the flood damage, and he can't turn the repair the dot. So this is really good. Yeah. Oh, kill carrier. Yeah, we know the carrier's gonna die. Boom, the carrier dies.
Enemy aircraft carrier.
We're able to land 4 shots and do pretty good damage. The guns on this are very accurate. It feels great. You know, Cleveland, amazing. Pensacola, Pensacola's pretty bad. Then you get to the New Orleans. New Orleans is better than Pensacola. It's not as good as the Cleveland. And you're hitting the Baltimore. Tier 9 cruiser. It feels good. And the Des Moines is really the cherry. It's amazing. I was able to play the Des Moines equivalent when the special space game mode was out. All of the space ships were basically variants of actual tier 10 ships that existed in the game, so you were able to experience the rate of fire. It's just amazing. I can't wait to get a tier 10 Des Moines. But, you know, this Azumu, he's in a really bad situation. Everyone from my team is firing on him constantly. He's gonna die, but it's just how he's gonna die. Is he gonna die to torpedoes? Is he gonna die to me? Is he gonna die to a friendly? Looks like he took 1 torpedo, and he's just taking constant rounds. At this point, though, he's at his strongest, so he can still take someone out. He's got his 3 turrets facing. That Kitakami's sending out all his torpedoes too. This guy is just, he's on fire. I can just hear the red alert whenever you've got like multiple fires. It's got to be intense from his point of view. He's like last ditch charge. We land a good shot, but we're not the ones that finish him. Looks like the fire gets him. So we were able to be pretty successful. Baltimore, we held the eastern flank. We were able to defeat any enemies that came our way, and we also prevent them from coming and penetrating our defenses. Our carrier did work, man. He was awesome too. It was really fun to play Baltimore. It was fun to be on this map and this map type. It was cool to try this game type. I'm curious how it'll influence the way we play the game. I hope it leads to less draws. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll catch you guys next time.